Hello makers. Today I have a little something different to share with you. This is a project that I made for a tutorial for the Sizzix blog back in 2020. And that blog is long gone, and so the tutorial is long gone. But I was able to search through my archives and find my write-up and find my step out photos. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and share it on my blog, and I'll see if I can do a talk through here on my YouTube channel. So I hope you'll stick with me as I give this a little bit of a different format a go and explain to you how I put together Clarence and the watering hole. And also, I think you'll be able to see how it inspired a recent make with the re-release of Clarence and the new release of Mini Clarence from Tim Holtz and Sizzix. So for today's tutorial, we're going to begin by pulling a few basics for the project. And that starts with the vignette boxes. So vignette boxes come in a set of 4, and I need you to pull the 2 largest vignette boxes for this project. Then if you have the stacked tiles dies, they're 5 different sizes and 5 of each size. I need you to pull the 2 smallest stacked tile squares and all 5 of them. We're going to use those on today's project. Now we're going to do a bunch of die cutting and get it out of the way before we start inking. So the next die that you need are the cutout leaves dies, and I used those on my recent make as well, so they're a great die to have. And I cut them out of distress watercolor cardstock twice, so all of the leaves, cut them twice. Then you also want some other greenery. You could use garden greens if you want, or if you have the Funky Florals one, that's the set that I used. And I used these 3 dies, and I cut out quite a few of them also out of distressed watercolor cardstock. We want a lot of greenery for today's project. For the next step, we need some distressed wood grain cardstock. I cut it into strips that would cover all 4 sides of the largest vignette box. So you'll have 2 long pieces and 2 shorter pieces for the ends. And then we want to cut out some diamond shapes from those pieces. So I want you to locate the square tile dies that we set aside earlier, and we want the larger of those 2 dies. And you're going to center them on the strips of wood grain cardstock and cut them out so that there's kind of a pattern of diamond shapes cut out of those strips. Now here's what those strips are going to look like, and you are also going to want to have 10 of the smaller squares cut out of wood grain cardstock as well. So you can either use a scrap of wood grain cardstock, or you can use those 10 squares that you cut out that were larger and cut smaller squares from them. You need to cut the splat dies from a piece of distress watercolor cardstock, and we'll color that a little bit later on. But you can see here we've got a bunch of greenery, we've got the splat dies, and we also have the diamond strips that are going to go around the outside of our large vignette box. So now it's time to get out our distress spray stains. Let's start with those cutout leaves. We are going to color those with Twisted Citron, Mowed Lawn, and Forest Moss. And just go ahead and spray those here and there across the front of all of those leaf die cuts. And you can see the Twisted Citron's the brighter color, Mowed Lawn is the darker color, and then that brown color is the Forest Moss. It has a little bit of a brown tinge that's going to give it kind of a vintage feel. And then go ahead and turn those over, and you want to do the same on the back side. You want to do all 3 colors on the back of those leaves, because we're going to be able to see both sides of the die cuts when we assemble this piece together. Now let's get ready for just a little non-fussy cutting, and I'm calling it that because it's really not too fussy. So the cutout leaves only cut out the pattern on the inside of the leaf shape. But if you want to use it as an actual leaf, you're just going to have to fussy cut the outside of the leaf out with some scissors. It really doesn't take very long, and then you'll end up with this beautiful pile of leaves. Now, at the time that we're coloring the leaves with the distress stains, you want to color the greenery as well. And that way you'll have a whole pile of wonderful greenery to put on our project. Moving along, we need to cut two A2 pieces of distressed watercolor paper in half, and we're going to spray them with barn door, walnut stain, rusty hinge, and antique linen distress sprays. Once those were dry, I got out my Media Marks dies and I cut the following shapes from them. The circle piece I cut from the rusty hinge. The V shape I cut from both the antique linen and the barn door papers. And then the X I cut from the walnut stain paper. And then I set those aside because I am going to be making a pattern on the large vignette box. Then I got the wood grain strips that I cut the square tiles from earlier, and I sprayed the strips with wild honey spray stain. And then the small squares that I cut out, I sprayed with peacock feathers spray stain. And then I attached the wild honey strips to the outside of the large vignette box, and then in the center of those open diamond squares, I put the peacock um, smaller squares inside those. And then the wood grain showed through, and I think it just makes a great pattern. And then I used all the different V shapes and X's and the little circles, and I applied them as you see in this picture to make a really cool pattern for the whole bottom outside edge of that large vignette box. It's time to color the splat die cut that I cut earlier. So the outer pieces are going to be a lighter blue like tumbled glass, and then we're going to work toward the center, which will be a darker blue. So then maybe bone china and mermaid lagoon for the center. And then I want to spray everything with a layer of distress resist spray. It's going to give it that watery sheen. And you can see that I cut an extra of the center splat, and that I put on the bottom edge of the top box so that that part that's kind of I'm holding that's working up is going to be under the drip from the top part. In order to have the top splat water falling over, you need to cut an extra large solid splat shape and attach all the other little pieces to it so that as you fold it over, it won't separate and look kind of weird. So that's a really important step you don't want to miss. So you can see that as I have that one edge kind of folded over and meeting that little splat at the bottom, those pieces didn't separate, and that's because it's all glued down to the large outside shape that's underneath it, that second shape. And then you want to secure it to the top of the smaller box. It's time to move on to Clarence. So I colored distressed cracked leather cardstock in various shades of gray, and then I followed the colors on the back of the dies. I cut all the pieces out, and then I assembled Clarence according to the picture that was on the packaging, as well as you can use the videos on the Sizzix website or the printouts that they have. Now, once Clarence was all put together like this, I want him to stand up on the piece, and so I added two small pieces of chipboard behind his front hoofs and up into his body. They were little strips about 3/8 of an inch wide, and then they extended down below the two front hooves about 3/4 of an inch, as you're going to see in this next picture. And so those are going to go down into the top vignette box, and it's going to help him stand up. So I wanted these covered and I didn't want to see them from the back of Clarence. So I cut out a second base outline die for Clarence and I sandwiched them in between two pieces so that when you look at the back of Clarence, all you'll see is a gray shape. I put Clarence in place and then I took a pencil and I made two marks where those two pieces of chipboard were going to go down into my vignette box. And then I took a craft knife and I cut out two openings where they'll be able to slip right down into the top of that box and hold Clarence into place. So once I got those carved out enough. I just kept testing and testing until I could fit the chipboard strips down into those, and then I glued them in place with a little bit of collage medium. Now that back foot that you can see that doesn't have any chipboard, it is going to be up above just a tiny bit, and I covered that up by putting some grass in front of it. And I got the grass to stand up by kind of folding the bottom up just a little bit, putting some glue on that folded bottom edge, and then kind of pressing it down with a poker tool so that the grass would stand up and it would cover the fact that his back foot was up off of the vignette box a little bit. Then for some other greenery, I took those cutout leaves, put some collage medium on them in various places on that upper box, and I would bend them over just a little bit so they're kind of bending backwards, and just go ahead and place those all around on that outside box. You can see I have them in quite a few places, as well as other greenery like the grass and some of those tropical leaves and things like that, all over the top. You want it to look like a lush jungle watering hole for Clarence to come and enjoy. So here you can see from the side, I did the greenery all the way around that top box. So you can even see I have it on the back of the box just in case it got set on a table or something like that and some people saw the back of the box. I have the around the bottom box. I also have the same patterns around the back so that no matter which direction you're looking at this piece, you can kind of enjoy the whole feel of it. The theme is carried all the way around the entire thing. Now, one thing that was kind of fun was that on the top, I bunched some of the greenery together so that it just looked like a little clump of greenery around that watering hole in different places on the very top where Clarence was, and also again around his back foot to make sure that that area was covered up as well. We didn't want to see that from either side, from the front, the back, or the side. So just use little clusters of greenery on the top to disguise anything that you don't want seen. Well, that's all I have for today's tutorial for Clarence and the watering hole. I do have all of the written instructions and these step-up photos on my blog at playswellwithpaper.blogspot.com. To keep you from having to search for it, however, I will link it in today's description for the video. I will also have a list of any of the things that are still available that I used back in 2020. And so if they aren't available, hopefully you have them in your stash, or I know that you will be able to come up with a great solution for something else that you could use. So I love this piece and I hope that you enjoyed it as well. I can see where my inspiration came for a more recent make, which I'll be sharing probably in the next video. So thanks again so much for watching on this different tutorial. And with that, I want to wish you a very creative day.